the news hit the Philippines like a shockwave. 5 U.S. warships, the Freedom-class Littoral Combat Ships, might soon be headed for Manila. For a Navy long reliant on aging, second-hand vessels, this was a potential game-changer. The story spread rapidly, sparking hope and debate nationwide. But these ships came with baggage. They were first offered to Greece, who turned them down. Why would Greece reject such advanced warships only for them to be offered to the Philippines? The excitement quickly mixed with skepticism. Was this a golden opportunity or a hand-me-down problem? The Philippines faces daily threats in the West Philippine Sea and urgently needs modern ships. On paper, the Freedom-class seemed perfect, fast, modern, and a symbol of U.S. support. But Greece's rejection raised red flags about hidden flaws and high costs. The decision before Manila was clear: accept the risk for a chance at rapid modernization, or walk away from a deal that could define the nation's maritime future. The stakes couldn't be higher. The right choice could secure the country's defenses for years. The wrong one could leave the Navy with expensive, unreliable ships, and even more vulnerable than before. The nation stood at a crossroads. The U.S. first offered these ships to Greece under the Excess Defense Articles program, modern vessels at a bargain price. Greece, seeking to upgrade its fleet, was initially interested. But Greek experts dug into the details. The Freedom-class had a reputation for unreliability, especially a critical flaw in the propulsion system's combining gear. This defect could leave a ship dead in the water, a nightmare for any navy. The U.S. Navy itself was struggling to fix the problem, pouring millions into repairs. Operational costs were another deal-breaker: high fuel consumption, expensive maintenance, and a need for specialized parts and training. Greece realized the bargain ships would drain their budget for decades. In the end, they walked away, choosing more reliable, battle-ready ships from Europe. Their rejection sent a clear message. The Freedom-class, despite its modern looks, was a risky investment. The U.S. was left with unwanted warships and a new offer to make. Now, the Philippines faced the same choice. Would they accept what Greece refused? The Freedom-class LCS was meant to revolutionize naval warfare: fast, flexible, and modular. In reality, it became a cautionary tale. The propulsion system's combining gear flaw was a fundamental design failure, leaving ships unreliable and costly to fix. The much-touted mission modules were slow to swap and often didn't work as promised. The ships ended up underarmed, expensive to operate, and lacking a clear role. The U.S. Navy lost faith, decommissioning many after only a few years. These aren't old ships, they're just unwanted. The Freedom-class story is one of big promises, bigger problems, and a program that never lived up to its hype. That's why they're now being offered to allies at a discount. For Manila, the question is whether these ships are a lifeline or a liability. The answer isn't simple. Why would Manila consider these troubled ships? Desperation and urgency. The Philippines faces relentless pressure in the West Philippine Sea, with an aging fleet ill-equipped for modern threats. Buying new warships takes years, time the country doesn't have. The Freedom-class offer promises 5 modern ships, fast. Despite their flaws, they're a huge leap over the Navy's current assets: faster, better armed, and equipped with advanced sensors. The deal also signals deeper U.S.-Philippine military ties, a strategic message to Beijing. For Manila, the risks might be worth it, given the immediate need. Sometimes an imperfect solution now is better than a perfect one a decade away. The pressure to act is immense. If the deal goes through, the Freedom-class ships could transform the Philippine Navy overnight. Their speed, over 40 knots, would let them respond rapidly across vast waters, outpacing most Chinese vessels. Their armament, including a 57mm gun and air defense missiles, would be a major upgrade. Even basic weapons would deter harassment and boost confidence at sea. Advanced sensors would give the Navy a clearer picture of threats, improving maritime awareness. Operating these ships would force the Navy to modernize training and logistics. The experience gained would lay the groundwork for future upgrades. It's a leap forward, but not without challenges. The ships could be a symbol of a new era if the risks are managed. The opportunity is real, but so are the dangers. The risks are as real as the rewards. The propulsion flaw remains a major concern. Will the U.S. fix it before transfer, or will Manila inherit the problem? Operating costs are sky-high. Fuel, maintenance, and spare parts could overwhelm the defense budget. The Navy lacks the infrastructure and trained personnel for such complex ships. Dependence on U.S. support for parts and expertise is unavoidable. If that support falters, the ships could end up idle in port. Survivability is another issue. The LCS is fast but lightly armored, vulnerable in a real fight. Manila must weigh whether speed and technology can make up for fragility. The gamble is huge. Modernize quickly or risk being saddled with expensive, unreliable ships. The decision will shape the Navy's future for decades. There's no room for error. For this deal to work, it must be more than a sale. It must be a true partnership. Manila needs ironclad guarantees. The propulsion flaw must be fixed before delivery, and long-term U.S. support must be locked in. Affordable spare parts, technical assistance, and ongoing training are non-negotiable. The U.S. should provide a dedicated support team and regular joint exercises to build Filipino expertise. The success of the deal depends on American commitment as much as the ships themselves. If the U.S. delivers, the alliance will be stronger than ever. If not, the Philippines could be left with 5 costly mistakes. Trust is the foundation and the test of this partnership. The world is watching. Greece and the Philippines face the same offer, but their situations couldn't be more different. Greece operates in the confined Aegean Sea, preparing for high-intensity battles against a modern navy. They need survivable, heavily armed ships and have the resources to buy or build them. The Freedom-class didn't fit their needs, so they walked away. The Philippines, by contrast, must patrol a vast maritime area, facing daily gray zone threats. Speed and presence matter more than heavy armor. With limited options and budget, the Freedom-class is a rare chance for rapid modernization. For Manila, it's not about choosing the perfect ship. It's about getting something better than what they have now. The same ships rejected by Greece could be exactly what the Philippines needs. Context is everything. The deal is imperfect, but for Manila, it may be the only option. Sometimes, necessity drives the hardest choices. Manila's decision is a high-stakes gamble with no easy answers. If the U.S. delivers on its promises, the Navy could be transformed, stronger, more capable, and better able to defend its waters. The ships would symbolize a new era and a deeper alliance. But if the risks materialize, unreliable ships, soaring costs, weak support, the deal could become a disaster. The Navy might be left with expensive liabilities, draining resources and morale. The outcome depends on tough negotiations and a strong U.S. commitment. The real test is not the ships, but the partnership behind them. The world is watching as Manila weighs hope against risk. The future of Philippine defense hangs in the balance. The next move will define a generation.